At one point, TikTok had me in a freaking chokehold, and none of us really have time to do anything. I promise you, you're not missing anything. Everything is at error now. And what is reading going to do for you, not what it's doing for somebody else? You have to fall in love with reading. So, I heard a little secret. You want to be a reader. If you want to be a reader, and if that secret is really true, stick around for this video because I'm going to share my tips with you. Come on. Hey guys, Angie here. Welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, I am primarily a romance and suspense reader, but we're here today to talk about tips for new readers. If little me saw big me right now and how much I actually read in a month, little me would be so proud. But I am here to tell you guys, I hated reading as a child. The only thing that I read was the Goosebumps, and so I'm super duper excited to be sharing this video with you because I never thought I would be giving tips to new readers. So we're gonna jump right in and talk about everything that I wish I had known when I was starting my reading journey as a young adult. The first thing is, don't make this an error. Don't do it. A lot of the times we hear soft girl era, Christian girl era, and I'm in my, what's another one they use? Just everything is an era now. And what people have to understand is eras end. You want to make this a way of life. You want to create a positive habit. And the only way to create this as a positive habit is to not look at it as I'm in my reading girl era. Focus on just making it a part of who you are and not necessarily just something that you're into for the current moment. That leads me into establishing a new routine that includes reading. Whether you decide to read in the morning or the afternoons or the evenings, whether you decide to read 15 to 30 minutes or just 10 minutes or just 10 pages, or whether you just decide to read a chapter a day, make sure that you are making it part of your new routine. Something that I did when I was trying to create a positive habit for something else totally unrelated to reading was I started with a habit tracker. Because I have a little touch of OCD, I didn't like to see that I was not doing my habit, or that like a little circle blurb colored in was missing because I had missed a day of the habit. That's a really good tool for you to use when you're starting something new, even not just reading, just in general, but it'll help you with your reading journey of just saying, hey, I'm going to set aside 10 minutes or each day to read, and check it off in your habit tracker. And I promise you that it'll help you stay on track to your goal of being a reader. Start reading because you want to, not because it's in, not because you see bookstagrammers or book talkers or booktubers making money from it. Start because you want to. Ask yourself, how is reading going to benefit me? Is reading going to help me decompress? Is reading going to help me ease away from the trials and tribulations of life? Like, what is reading going to do for you, not what it's doing for somebody else? Because if you ask anybody, reading means different things for different people. Like, some people want to expand on their vocabulary. Some people read to escape. Like, whatever your reasoning is, make sure you are doing it for you. You are the only person that matters in your journey and when you're trying to create positive habits. We are all busy. At the end of the day, none of us really have time to do anything. Now, some people have more time than others, but for the most part, we're all super duper busy. So we have to evaluate what we're doing with our time. Reading. When you are at the doctor's office, when you're taking your kids to urgent care, if you have a break at work, have your book with you so that you can open it up and read it. The pages truly add up. You don't have to sit down and read for hours and hours at a time. But like I said, if you're just reading 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, like, always have your book with you. And that leads me into my next point of evaluating your screen time. A lot of the times we're doing things that we can replace with reading. So if you're scrolling on the internet, if you're scrolling on social media, at one point TikTok had me in a freaking chokehold, and I had to get off of it because I was scrolling too much. And guess what? all that time I was scrolling, I could have been opening the book up and reading. So definitely evaluate where you're spending your time and what you're spending your time on, and make sure that you always have a book with you. Don't worry about how fast or slow you are reading. It's not about the speed of reading. It's just about you picking up a book, opening up the pages, taking it page by page. A lot of the times when we're on booktube, like we are now, we get sucked into our favorite booktubers reading 16 books a month, or they're reading 200 pages a day. It's not about that. It's just about opening the book up, starting. You have to start somewhere. The thing is, you have to remember that these are seasoned readers. So these people are used to reading a lot of pages. And when you're first starting out, you are not used to reading. So you have to take it slow. You have to learn how things are actually set up in the book, like reading dialogue and things like that. Like, it's a journey, it's a process, and it's not something that you just happen to learn overnight. You have to fall in love with reading, really, ultimately. Kind of like, I don't know, falling in love with a person, I guess. You have to get to know how you are as a reader. You have to get to know yourself. And so it's not about reading slow or fast. It's not about how many books you read a month. I know for me, on a good month, on a very, very good month, I can get about 11 to 12 books in. On a bad month, that's not really a bad month. It could be about 8 books, but I'm still reading. I'm still picking up the book, and that's most important. Don't focus on how fast you are reading. Just focus on picking it up. One of my favorite things that I'm going to tell you today is, when you are first starting out reading, you want to read something that you would watch. So, what are your favorite types of TV shows and movies? Is it rom-coms? Is it sci-fi? Is it comedy? Like, is it mystery and suspense? Like, what do you like watching? Because I guarantee if you like watching it, you're going to like reading it. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't venture out to different genres until you discover and start getting seasoned with reading genres that you actually really like, because it is different reading a book than watching TV, obviously, because it takes longer. But if you're reading something that you're interested in, you're more likely to finish the book. A lot of the shows that you see on TV are from books. Like, these books have been adapted to movies, to be TV shows. And so that's why it's important to make sure that you're correlating the two, because if you can watch it, like I said, you'll most likely be able to read it. And that's a period. I know. You see Fourth Wing, you see Reckless, you see Powerless, you see the ACOTAR series, you see all the popular big books, and you're like, I want to read it. No. If you're new to reading, don't get you one of those big behind books that's intimidating, because it will overwhelm you. The best thing to do as a new reader is to start out with a 250-page book. That's something that you can read I don't want to say very quickly, but something that is easier to read and something that's easier to hold your attention. Don't try to get you a big book. I promise you, you're not missing anything. You'll get there. It's a process. It's a journey to get into those big books. I'm not just saying this because I'm a mystery and suspense girly, but this is important. I feel like mystery and suspense will be your best bet in starting, because mystery and suspense books, they'll keep the page turning, they'll keep you wanting more, they'll keep you invested in the story. Like, you'll want to know what happens in the end, and guess what? The only way to know is to freaking read the book. Find out what happens, find out how it happens. Of course, you can skip to the end, but you're not really going to know how you got to the end. So mystery is so good, because like I said, it just keeps you on your toes, it keeps you guessing, it keeps you wanting more. One of the things that I will say with this is, Frida McFadden is probably the easiest suspense reader for new readers. She's fast-paced, she has a lot of twists and turns in her books, she is easy to read, and I think that new readers can resonate with her writing more probably than any other mystery or suspense writer. Now this is something that you can do for fun. I just created my first, about 7 videos ago, my first random generator choosing how much I read a day. Now obviously I went from 1 hour to 8 hours because I consider myself a seasoned reader. Now, because you are trying to get into reading, I wouldn't go past an hour. So you get yourself a little random generator, you put in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, put in the minutes up into an hour or however, you know, whatever you feel like you can do, and have the generator choose every day how much you read. This is something fun that you can do that can add a little bit of spice and give you a challenge to read every single day, something to accomplish every single day. So that's a great tip that I wanted to share with you. So yeah, get to spinning, y'all, get to spinning. And then last but not least is something that I just learned mid-November 2024, and that's reading multiple books. Because you're new to reading, you don't really know what you're going to like. And reading multiple books for new readers is something that is very, very important. For me, I read paperback in the daytime, and then at night I read my Kindle, which is a totally separate book. And I think that's important for you to discover, even if you have to DNF a book. Because I'm reading 3 books right now. I'm in the middle of Eleanor Oliphant's Completely Fine, A Love Like the Sun, and a novel Christmas. Now, one is a lit fic, and 2 of them are romances, with one being a holiday. But if I get tired of one because I'm such a mood reader, then I can go to another one. And it's the same for you. If you decide, hey, I don't like this book that I'm reading right now, but instead of putting it down and just not having nothing to read, you can go to your book that you're currently reading. So reading multiple books, I know it sounds overwhelming, but I promise you, if you do it right, it's not overwhelming. It's something that's really going to benefit you and your reading journey. So guys, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions that I didn't answer in here, some things that you want to go over, please feel free to leave a comment, and I will definitely respond. I hope as I go through my journey, because regardless of you being seasoned at something, you should always be learning something. You should always be trying to gain knowledge on something. So if I learn some new tips and tricks and things that I want to share, I will be doing another video for this. But in the meantime, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Start reading because it's, wait, 3, 2, 1. I repeated that over and over. Did I say don't start venturing out until you become seasoned? Dang, I had a point on the other video about this that I... A lot of these books that we're reading, they are books to screen movies. So a lot of the 3, 2, 1.